Hi, everyone. My curricular theorist was Daisaku Ikeda, who recently passed in November. So I will share about his educational philosophy. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about himself. He was born in Tokyo, Japan, and was a Buddhist philosopher who advocated for empowerment and social engagement for peace. His mentor was Josei Toda, and Josei Toda was a mentee of Sunesaburo Makaguchi. And these three were the founders of the Soka Gakkai International, the world's largest Buddhist association. They founded the Soka school system, which strives to foster each child's unique creative potential to cultivate an ethos of peace, social contribution, and global citizenship. That is their statement on their organization and their website. But Ikeda was someone who believed that teachers' purpose was to help all children to become happy. And that stopped me in my tracks because happy is not a word that we talk about as a goal for students because of its connotations, short-lived connotations in education today. So I wonder if that word gets translated, lost in translation, because later he talks about here that children should not be excluded from and shielded from hardship and challenges, that they should become people who strive to create value even under the most difficult circumstances. So I wonder if this translates more accurately to peace and joy. So he believed that education is a key to a better world and should be accessible to all, and that dialogue really is the key to promote peace. And so he was a big proponent of dialectical conversations and really strongly believed that elementary education is the most critical because it's the first experience that children have with education. And so he uses a metaphor of the cherry blossom tree. And he believed that a true teacher teaches you how to live. So he dedicates an entire article on the cherry blossom illustration and how our roots are largely formed by a first experience of education. And just like trees, how they're living things and not machines, our students are the same. And the only way to learn that particular tree is to learn its character, to take them into account, and warmly, I love this word, care for it. And he believes that the precise degree we care for in children will extend and spread their roots, that we should not protect them, but we should steward them, that they are gifts, that they are beautiful souls individually as they come. And he talks about the soil that they come in, our family situations. And so Soka Gakkai International is a worldwide organization that Soka literally means value, and it's an organization that creates, that really instills the creation of value and humanistic education. This was interesting. Orlando Bloom is also a follower of Buddhism and met Ikeda and talks about how Ikeda challenged him to find his own words instead of just use Ikeda's words, which was really interesting. So the curricular tie-ins that I noticed the most were the humanistic approach and social justice. In the humanistic thread, I see echoes of green, that learning must engage children from the interior journey. Dewey, that it's student-centered and it's to instill, foster, and facilitate curiosity. And constantly I heard nodding. It's about caring for children, not caring about. And he was a big proponent of social justice as well, which reminds me of Freire, Green, and Valenzuela with conscientization, developing critical awareness, Green, developing self-consciousness and wide awakeness that leads to intellectual freedom and affects society. And Valenzuela, in her idea of subtractive schooling, that Ikeda also believes that children add so much to the world. And so to really celebrate all of their individuality and uniqueness. And the applications to practice reminds me of differentiation, because he really believes in the individual student and needing to learn the individual student to really serve them well and to steward them well. The idea of SEL, social emotional learning, rings true in Ikeda's work. He would be a big fan of check-ins and making sure that they are loved and cared for. Programs like Second Step in elementary schools, where it's an explicit SEL program, I think that he would want that in the middle schools and the high schools as well. He would be a fan of equity work to provide access and opportunity for all students because they are gifts and they have so much brilliance, which kind of reminds me of Goldie Muhammad's work of cultivating genius, how every kid has genius and brilliance. He really believed in dialogue. And so I think that Socratic seminars would really be in line with what he would believe to be valuable, where students don't have an agenda, an end goal besides learning from each other and seeing what organically arises from the conversations. And I think that he would also really be a big fan of mentor and mentee models because he believes that teachers should teach students how to live. And so really that two-way relationship instead of the one-way street would be something he would promote. This quote here, again, the word happiness I was stuck on that because we try to not use that in education, but here again, he talks about being fearless no matter what happens is the root of true happiness. So again, I think that this could mean, peace and joy, self-fulfillment. And the last quote that was pretty well known here is a great inner revolution in just a single individual will help achieve a change in the destiny of a nation and the destiny of all mankind. And the inner revolution part, the wide awakeness part reminds me of Maxine Greene for sure. Thanks.